Hello, welcome back to PLS tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss about reference cursors. So let's try to recapture what we learned before on cursor. In the simple cursor, what we do is whenever we query the employee table, and then using a cursor for loop, we manipulate the rows that is faced by the database one after another. Okay, so that essentially what we did. But in this case, we know what is exactly the query during the declaration time, right? That is not going to solve a lot of our problem, right? Because we might need to change, we might add a where condition here, and then have that the where condition may change from depending on conditions inside this big block. So therefore, next thing that what we did is just to just to you know enhance this program, whatever you see, we we declare something called cursor parameterized cursor or cursor with parameter, right? So this piece of code is an example of cursor with parameters. So what I did is I created a parameter called v underscore department number, and then I parameterize this where condition with v underscore department number. And at the and this is how I define the cursor. And whenever I'm going to use the cursor, I'm going to give I'm going to give the parameter. So here I give the parameter 10. So that means the query is going to determine at this time. Okay, so that means the query is exactly determined at the runtime. All right, and then so in that case, based on some conditions, I can basically change this parameter and then can reuse the same cursor C1. Whereas this was not possible in this first case, in the simple cursor. Okay, so if this is the case, so basically what we did is by parameterizing, we modify the where condition, right? But will not be a good idea to basically define one cursor and attach this cursor to a query at the runtime. So essentially, what we do here in this part, that at line number 8, we are basically know exactly what is the query. But however, we knew the query's syntax at the beginning, at the declare time. Okay, but how about defining, declare just a cursor something like C1, but don't do anything with C1 at the declare time. Rather, in the runtime, after begin, based on some logic, I can associate a query to this cursor C1, and that is what is a reference cursor. Okay, so reference cursor, I do not know what is the query at the declare time, and I will only know at the runtime. Okay, and also sometimes I can dynamically create a query depending on some conditions and depending on my situation. Okay, so let's take an example of this. So here is what I did. I declare a type, and I declare basically this is a new type of variable you can think about. So what kind of variable is this? This is of a reference cursor. Okay, and then I declare a variable emp underscore cv of employee underscore rep cursor. So here is I define the type, and then here I define the variable, and then I'm defining employee emp rec as a record type of emp percentage row type. So that means emp rec is going to contain a complete row of the employee emp table. Okay, and then empcv basically is a active set of and then that active set is nothing is there right now. Okay, even I don't know what kind of data is going to come. Then I declare a variable called stmt, which is select star from emp. Then I declare another variable v underscore department number is equal to 10. Okay, so this is what I'm doing here in begin. If department number is null, then open emp underscore cv for statement. So essentially this statement saying that now emp underscore cv is a cursor. That cursor is associated with this value of stmt. So what is stmt? Stmt is a query that selects star from emp. So at this point, I'm going to associate emp underscore cv with the query select star from emp if v underscore department is null. If v underscore department is not null, which is our case, in our case v underscore department is equal to 10. Therefore, I go to the else statement and I construct a new statement. and that statement is select a statement concatenation with this query or with this string. Essentially what I'm doing select star from EMP where department number is equal to 10. Alright, so basically v underscore department number is 10. So therefore, so my statement, this statement become now select star from EMP where department number is equal to 10. Alright. Then I'm associating EMP underscore CV, this cursor, with v underscore department with the statement using v underscore department number. That means I'm going to use the value of v underscore department number 10 here. Okay. So what I'm doing here by line number 16, I'm basically attaching a query to this cursor, which is a reference cursor. Okay. So look, in this case, so basically, in this case, the select statement was defined at the beginning at the declare time. Here, the select statement was almost defined, but we do not know what is the value of department number. Okay, so therefore, we are defining here. In this third case, whatever we see, we do not know what is the in the second case we almost knew about the select statement, but just where condition was not known. Okay, but in this case we do not know anything until line number 16 when we are associating a cursor with a query. All right. So after this line number 18, so our cursor get associated with a query, and then I'm going to execute that cursor by fetch. Okay, so whenever I'm going to do the fetch command, in this particular case, I'm going to query with select star from EMP where department number is equal to 10. So therefore, my active set is going to contain all the employees information who are working in department number 10. And then again, whenever I do fetch EMP underscore CV into EMP underscore rect, by this, the first row is going to come and then placed in a temporary variable that is called EMP underscore EMP rect. Okay, and then I want to exit when EMP is the same concept that whatever we run. So whenever EMP underscore CV is not found, that means whenever whatever this query is going to fetch, when I am going to loop all those rows, then I'm going to exit out of this loop, and then I'm going to close the EMP underscore CV. Okay, so this is basically the idea behind reference cursor. This reference cursor make your program even more flexible, and then you can use only one cursor, and then using that cursor, you can associate the query at the runtime. And once you're done, you're going to close this cursor. Again, you can reuse that same cursor, enp underscore cv, with some other queries. Not a problem. Okay. So basically, this is what this makes basically your program more flexible. And a lot of time we use reference cursor because we really do not know, sometimes based on the scenario, we are going to construct the query in the runtime. All right. So if you want to construct the query in the runtime, there is no way that you can declare as we did it in step, simple cursor or cursor with parameters. Therefore, you must use reference cursor. I hope you understand reference cursor. And if you don't, then take a look at the PLSQL documentation of Oracle. They do have a lot of examples on reference cursor. Thank you.